this year we're really going to find a superstar, supermodel. Sorry?
You heard that you went to India. Yesterday some models from different cities, and so how was it in particular?
Well, this is, I haven't been to the other cities. This is the first time I've joined them, but I've seen the pictures. So from the pictures alone, I know that we're going to have a really good group tomorrow, because actually everyone that's been selected in the different cities, they're all coming to Delhi tomorrow. So tomorrow we meet all the finalists, and then we're going to choose, which will be very hard because it's a high level. Then we have to choose two groups of the girls and the guys who will represent, well, they will be the Indian finalists for this year. And then we have to choose one guy and one girl who will represent India at the World Final.
Jennifer, you watching Indian film, Indian movies, Indian film? Do you like any Indian actor?
I don't know the names of the Indian actors.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we are in Mumbai. We are holding auditions, yani castings for Elite Model Look India. It is an international model hunt that takes place across 40 countries all over the world, and one boy and one girl is selected from India. Selection hone ke baad, they go for the world finals. It can be in China, ya Milan, ya Paris, jo bhi hoga. The idea is to find somebody from India who is young or who can be an international top supermodel. So we are in Mumbai for the auditions. We finished a lot of cities where we've been to Bangalore, we've been to Chennai, we've been to Pune, Banga, Kolkata, Chandigarh. We've traveled all over India. आज आखिरी audition है. इसके बाद कल हम दिल्ली जाएंगे. We'll do one final round of auditions. उसके बाद the models, boys and girls who are finally selected, they will train with us for about 10 days. वहाँ पर camp होगा. They will be taught on different aspects of the fashion industry, styling, confidence, poise, ramp walk, how to pose in front of a camera. We have a couple of international trainers जो आ रहे हैं बाहर से to train and work with the boys. And then after that, 23 तारीख को in Delhi, we'll have the finale where one boy and one girl will win, and the winner will go and take part in the world final. क्या देख रहे हो आप एक मॉडल की? क्या देख रहे हो? जी यहाँ पर definitely जो international model होते हैं आज का ज़माने में they have to be young. So youth is very important. यहाँ का age जो criteria है, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय में the criteria is 14 to 22, 14 years old to 22. In India, we've been a little more relaxed. We've kept it from 16 to 22, 23. Definitely a good body, definitely tall, definitely young. और फिर उसके बाद, how confident you are on stage. We don't want anybody who's experienced and who has done a lot of ramp work. हमें freshers चाहिए, हमें new people with a new approach, new look. Yes, but confident.
मार्क हमें एक न्यू एंट्री देखने को मिली. Any particular reason? कोई खास वजह?
जब हम स्टारबक्स गए थे और हमने तो ये देखा कि एक आदमी यहाँ पर है और पिछले साल भी उसने एक कंपटीशन में लिया था. उस वक्त उसका शायद वजन था 82 किलोस. तो आज जब हम कॉफी पी रहे थे मैंने देखा यार I said, who is this guy? He looks familiar. So I asked him, did you take part in the contest last year? He said yes. I said, how much weight have you lost? He said 10 kilos. So he's looking different. He's 19 years old. वो college में पढ़ रहा है, but he's groomed himself and he's looking good. So we called him back, and helping me judge the models today, we have the head trainer and head caster from Paris, Jennifer. So she also liked him. We have Troy Costa, one of the best designers in India, and we have another supermodel with Elite New York, Elena. So all of us thought he was good, so we gave him a chance, and now we are just seeing whether we should call him back again.
Jennifer है और Elena. कैसा रहा experience उनके साथ?
It's good. It's always good to work with new talent, international talent, क्योंकि उसके इन लोगों के पास experience है, exposure है, and it's always good to get a different perspective. Very important. Thank you. Thank you.
So Elena, how was it getting the show?
Oh, I think it was amazing. I mean, for me to be on the other side, thank God, is all I'm saying. I'm so happy that I've paid my dues and I don't have to be walking the ramp. But the talent is just exceptional. Yeah.
What exactly is so difficult?
I think because I've worked so much in the international market, you kind of know what you're looking for. So now I understand when the agents say, we know what, when you have that little spark, that little edge. So that kind of made it easier. But it's still tough.
What do you say to all the young talent in this show?
don't give up. If you truly believe that modeling is your passion, just remember there is a whole world out there. There's not just India, even though I love India and I'm half Indian. There is a whole world out there. There's different markets for you to try out, and you just have to persist. If you're really passionate about it, give it your all and try and travel the world. You know, the whole thing with modeling is that you get to travel the world. You get to experience so many amazing opportunities. You go to amazing places, great shoot locations, but it's not all about the glitz and glamour. There is, on the other side of it, like, this is a job, and it's really, really hard working. So only the strong will get to the top. But just don't give up.
Arina, you know any Indian actor watching Indian film?
Yeah, I got my film with Nazaruddin Shah out next month. End of October, our film comes out. Charlie Ki Chakame. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. So.
Which is your favorite actor in Bollywood, in India?
Does it have to be a guy or a girl? I like Katrina. Katrina. I think she's so sweet. I mean, she's such a nice person, and you know, she's the original Bollywood queen. No one can take her crown. Even if I try, I'm not going to take her crown. You know?
And men, Katrina, and men.
God, there's so many. There's Shahrukh, there's Salman, and there's Nazaruddin. So my loyalty is with Nazaruddin because of our film.
And you try to act in India and star in future.
Yeah. So I have my film out next month on October 30th, and then we'll see what happens after that. I'm very excited. You know, like, I'm half Indian. India has always been so great to me. I've done everything here as a model that I'm already a supermodel now. It just makes sense to go into Bollywood.
Super.
So we'll see.